Um, I mean, Singapore is very close by Malaysia, but then Singapore is also one of the top study destination apart from the two countries that I've just mentioned. That's because we are also partnering with the UK and Australia for degree programs. So later bit I'll share more on this information. For now, I'd like to introduce to your Singapore. I'm sure most of the Malaysians have been to Singapore, and it's not a strange thing to us. Yeah, so if you have not been to Marina Bay, I'd like to introduce you, and if you have time and when the border is lifted, feel free to go over to Marina Bay. Uh, yeah, they have really pretty skyline and also night view, and that's a light show as you can see on the screen. You can also dine in a cable car. This is one of my favorite. This is the DNA helix bridge, which is shaped like human DNA. And it's actually created by a famous architecture from Australia. And of course, Gardens by the Bay, where you can go on a catwalk along the trees. And this is actually very, very nice place where you can see the lightings and just take away your stress. Especially if you're studying in Singapore, a lot of people has this misconception that is very stressful. But that's because most of the courses that we offer is actually in a shorter duration, but then it doesn't mean that the student don't have the enough time to actually prepare. Whatever modules that they study will be similar to that of the Australia. Yeah. And also this street art, Haji Lane street art, I recommend you to go over. It doesn't feel like Singapore at all when you look at this picture. It looks like Paris. Yeah. And they also have buildings which is very Instagrammable, like this Old Hill Street Police Station. So for those of you who love taking pictures, I recommend you to go this place, as well as Koon Seng Road, colorful Peranakan houses. So from here, you can see the influence of Malaysian in Singapore. So you won't have a culture shock when you go to Singapore. It's very similar to Malaysia. Of course, I wouldn't say that Singapore food is better than Malaysia, but they also have food which is similar to Malaysia. And in case you are there and you're homesick, yeah, at least you can find comfort in those food, right? Yeah. So welcome to PSB. PSB is actually known as Asia's Future Academy, and we have courses from certificate, diploma, degree, up to master's as well as PhD level. So we have a very broad range of courses, and we actually founded in 1964. We have been around for 55 years. For those of you who have not heard of PSB, PSB is actually used to be government board, of which we set up to raise the productivity level of the employees in Singapore. That's how it came about. And then in 2006, we became a private education institution. And we do have students that come from the poly government as well. And we do have students from across the states in Malaysia, although most of the students would come from Johor, but I do get a few from northern central region as well as East Malaysia. Yeah. So just to introduce myself again, I'm Kathy. I'm handling the international student recruitment for certain regions in Malaysia. And we hope that this session is actually able to help you in terms of understanding how is it like when you consider furthering study in Singapore with PSB, as well as if you have your dreams, even if you do not know what you want to study. I hope that today's session will give you an insight into your future course and choosing the right career. Yeah. Just to share with you, we actually feature our students. This is the top Malaysian achiever from our campus. So they are featured in the Sinju newspaper. And this is our course. And some of the activities that we have done in the school in the past, as you can see, because now still on COVID, that's why everything goes online. But we do have some collaborations as well with the local Malaysian institution like articulation and all that. So yeah, we do all this collabs. And in case if you're wondering why Singapore as your study destination, first of all, although it's like another Penang Island, which is considered small compared to other country, but then Singapore is indeed the first choice for Malaysian, especially when it comes to a stable career. So if you are considering like you want to complete a Singapore education and then continue to work in Singapore, I hope that today's session, I'll also talk a little bit about the career opportunities. It will be able to help you to like understand why Singapore. Yeah. And also Singapore is also known as one of the second safest city in the world. So apart from Tokyo, so that's how safe it is. And I'm sure most of your parents would be worried if, let's say, you want to go overseas, right? They'll ask you, okay, why don't you stay back in Malaysia first, then go overseas later? But then if Singapore is where you consider, I think you can tell your parents don't have to worry because Singapore is very safe. Yeah. And in terms of the transportation, traveling via MRT is very convenient for you to go around, anywhere in Singapore. And Singapore has both the greenery part, the nature part, and also the city life. So it's a balance of both world. And of course, they also emphasize a lot on English as the first language. So if you want to brush up your English or you love communicating in English, so this is one of the place that you might want to consider. And of course, it's also one of the global commerce and financial hub. Yeah. A lot of MNC, multinational companies are set up in Singapore. That's where, if you are talking about can find a job or not in Singapore, will they hire me or not? Am I good enough? That kind of thing. So this is actually a plus point for you, especially if you're graduate from Singapore. Later, I'll talk a little bit about the average pay and all that. Yeah. So I'm going to share a video on our campus. Just take a look how our campus look like. Just go back.
Welcome to my Academy of the Future. At PSB Academy, we have access to 2 campuses, and now we're here at City Campus at Marina Square. It spans 2 stories and is right in the heart of the city. Our campuses were intentionally designed with lots of communal spaces, both for study and to just chill between or after classes.
The Hive is where students can approach our staff for assistance, such as academic support, student life activities, and career advice. With so many university partners from the UK, Australia, and New Zealand, and a myriad of programs to choose from,
we need all the help we can get.
Our campuses have facilities that provide us with practical preparation for our future careers.
My peers and I, from Media Communication and Studies, get to use the TV and radio studios for our projects, working with lecturers who come with the industry experience.
Our MBA rooms feature class seating for seminar-style discussions, with equipment for video conferencing and recording, breaking down the boundaries of a traditional classroom.
While we have extensive online libraries to serve our textbook and revision needs, our Learning Resources Centre here is an additional resource we can use between classes.
As for our lessons, some of them are held in lecture theatres like this, where we sometimes hold student performances and large-scale presentations as well. For smaller tutorials, each of our classrooms have writable walls for breakout or interactive discussions and wireless display technology. Overseas guest speakers can even interact with the class through video conference.
On top of hard skills and strong foundational knowledge, we pride ourselves in developing holistic leadership skills in our students.
we participate in student-run clubs and associations, as well as career readiness workshops or talks related to their disciplines. And outside of that, some recreational time at the eateries and shops around campus is a great way to unwind and catch up with friends.
But that's not all we do outside of class or campus.
We often have industry visits to places like the Google and Facebook office, newsrooms, and even engineering factories, so students are exposed and can learn what to expect from their future workplace.
And speaking of factories, our STEM campus was built to churn out industry-ready STEM talent like me, who will be contributing in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics sectors in Asia.
Spaces in STEM campus are carefully designed to encourage students to test out their new ideas through experimentation and prototyping. Like our engineering lab and fluid mechanics lab that give folks like me the chance to learn using precision engineering equipment.
Many of our labs feature see-through glass panels, which provide more open concept environments for our learning. Our life sciences and chemistry labs were designed by academics on the back of more than 10 years of experience in delivering top-quality life and chemical science education in Singapore. Lab work can take up to 30% of a program's curriculum, so students can expect to be well-versed in techniques and instrumentation used in the real world.
And what's a computer science or IT student without his computer? We've got labs across both campuses to facilitate the online learning and necessary software training for different disciplines.
My classmates and I in the sports science programs have the opportunities to test 3D cameras fitted in the sports science lab. This is where we do practical workshops to learn and test concepts in sports performance analysis, 3D motion analysis by studying gait and movement.
Would you like to pay us a visit?
We're close to 6 MRT stations. The city campus is minutes away from City Hall, Promenade, and Esplanade MRT stations. Our STEM campus is close to Braddell, Toa Payoh, and Caldecott stations.
Your future can start right here at PSB Academy.
Alright, so what you have seen just now is a preview of our campus, our 2 campuses in Singapore. If you are interested in non-sciences, our city campus is where you will attend your classes. And if let's say you're a science student, then you will be studying in STEM campus. So these 2 campuses will be about 5 to 6 MRT stations apart. And our city campus is very close to Marina Bay, and it's actually walking distance. And these are some of the activities that we have done in the past, including industry collaborations, which we invite guest speakers, and also some recordings in the mass comm studio, as well as the science lab experiment and other activities as well. So we do encourage a lot of activities, especially for students when you are studying in college. That's because in exposing yourself in this corporate kind of working environment, then you are able to, it will help you in terms of finding a job in future. So this is how it looks like, the same one that I have at the background. This is the entrance for Marina Square City Campus. And then we have MBA rooms, lecture theatre, classrooms look like this. And then Learning Resource Center, the library. And the students that attend classes, they are all taking e-attendance, which means like thumbprint. So this is our STEM campus. Lecture theatre, also computer lab, e-attendance. And from the video, there's one point that mentioned we have writable walls, 360 degrees, most of the walls will be writable. So this is actually a new technology whereby we encourage not just the lecturing and the student listening, but we encourage discussion so that sometimes students can also do presentation. Both ways. These are our science lab, engineering lab, and sports lab in our STEM campus. So we have the facilities. So in case you're wondering why study with PSB Academy, that's because one thing in Singapore, it's a quality education and our fees are actually very affordable. So as compared to UK or Australia, if let's say you were to complete a degree, right, normally it will take about 3 years. But for Singapore side, I'll explain later that the duration, instead of 3 years, you'll be completing 2 years or even shorter. Yeah. And we partner with the UK and Australia programs. So you'll be getting the similar certificate as if you're studying in UK and Australia as well. And of course, the high employment rate in Singapore, which is very attractive to students. And these are the schools that we have in PSB. In general, we have about 12,000 students and 9 university partners, about 200 full-time and associate lecturers, and 80% would be on full-time. The part-time will actually cater to the local student, which means only local students are able to study part-time. If you're on international student pass, you have to study on a full-time basis. And our students, they come from 50 nationalities, 50. If let's say you are a person who is very outgoing or you want to get to know people from different countries, this is the time for you to actually meet other people, because we do have students from Thailand, Korea, Myanmar, Vietnam, Indonesia, China, and of course Malaysian. And also we do have Singaporean as well. It's a good mix. As you can see, international stands about 45%. So it is a good number. Yeah. Others would be local student, also consists of PR and others. Yeah. So these are our university partner. We do partner with Australia as well as UK and New Zealand partner uni. So each of the partner uni that we collaborate with, they are actually specialized in different majors. So for example, like Newcastle, it's actually specialized in engineering and technology related courses. That's why we partner with Newcastle. For example, Wollongong, we partner with them for business because they are popular for business. And also La Trobe would be well known for physical and life sciences. So these are our partner uni. ECU is well known for cybersecurity program as well as sports science. Coventry is actually top 14 in the UK, top 15, top 14. Yeah. It's considered one of the top modern university, very good university. And most of our students that study Coventry, if they study our diploma for 9 months, then they will be able to progress for 16 months only, the degree. Yeah. And Edinburgh Napier would be for sports science. Okay, so when we come to the courses in general, maybe I'll just talk a little bit about each of the major. Either you can type in your questions later, or if you have any questions, then we can address it later after the quiz. So the degrees offered with PSB would be biomedical sciences, biotechnology, chemistry, pharmaceutical sciences, and all these programs would be under the life sciences. So if you are considering like a medicine program, right, you are able to go through biomedical sciences and then you take a graduate entry pathway. For normal, MBBS would require at least like another 3 years after your degree studies. Yeah, because this is for Australia. But if you go over to Australia, you need at least 7 years. Yeah. So in a way, you can actually save up some time during your degree with PSB because it's only 24 months, 2 years instead of 3 years time. And if you're a person who is interested to know about, how to come up with a vaccine, especially now we are in this COVID pandemic, and you would like to do research about perhaps like rice, how do you modify the rice genetics, things like this, or even like food fermentation, or even come up with a disease drug for the disease like cancer. Yeah. So all these are actually in life sciences program. So in the School of Life Science, you can see we do have life science and also sports science. And the pathway, if let's say you're coming for SPM or O levels, then you have to start with the certificate in sports and exercise science. Or if you're interested in life science, then you are able to start with a foundation diploma. So the duration, it's only 6 months, or in this case, foundation would be 6 to 9 months, and then followed by diploma or bachelor's degree. Diploma, usually you are able to complete in actual duration, which is 9 months. And for the degree programs, these are your choices. La Trobe, we are able to complete in 2 years. Yeah. And for sports science, if let's say, I'm not sure whether today participants present here are interested in sports science. If you are, then maybe you can ask more questions, then I'll address it later. Most of the students will take this program, either they are interested in the health and well-being of a person in general, like for example, a person with the obesity, or most of the population like Singapore, they are facing the issue of aging population. So therefore, with the aging population comes with a lot of diseases issue. So if you are interested in this area like food nutrition, you can also actually study sports science. Yeah, not just becoming a coach or active in sports. And we do have about 400 over student population in our sports science course itself. And we do have collaboration, and you're able to get a professional certificate with ISPA. And we do have company collaboration with this VX Sports. Some of the career opportunities, not just coaching or personal trainer, but it's very, very broad. So there are a lot of different areas that you can consider. Of course, one of it is to prevent sports injury. And then, like I mentioned, health and well-being. This is in general, like how do you combat the obesity, all these things is under health science, but is geared towards like sports area. But then the career opportunity is not just limited to sports, it can be broader. Business, if let's say you're considering business, the one in demand currently would be digital marketing as well as global supply chain. And of course, the rest we have as well. And just some of the information that I like to share with you in case you're considering marketing. And Singapore is actually well known as one of the marketing hub as well as financial hub. And this is where most of the MNC companies set up their offices, regional offices in Singapore. So like Google, Facebook, they do have HQ, headquarter in Singapore. That's where most of the foreign companies, they invest in Singapore because they see talents there. Yeah, and this will help you to build up your career if let's say you want to stay on in Singapore after your studies. For business, you can see here that we do have accounting, finance, business management, and under the business program, we do have mass communication, media com, logistics, supply chain, hospitality, and tourism. Next year, we are going to offer 2 new programs, which is data analytics as well as graphic design and media studies. And the pathway, as you can see, it's quite similar as what I mentioned earlier. 6 months certificate, except business, you can actually do like overloading program. You are able to complete within 3 months. That is how short it can be. But of course, if let's say you think it's too fast, you can also choose 6 months. And then diploma program will be 9 months. And these are the universities that we partner with. So the good thing about PSB is that once you have decided or you have not decided on business, but you want to know more about business, you can start off with business certificate first and followed by a diploma in other specialization. So in a way, you are exposed to different field. Like you don't just have to take a main course, but you can take many side dishes along the way in diploma and degree. So this chart will tell you like the options available for you, even if you start out with a general business, but you can actually branch out to different majors along the way. Yeah. So media and mass communication. If you are a person who likes journalism and you like writing articles, networking in terms of public relation, you love reading the news. Yeah, these are some of the traits for you to consider this program. And hospitality and tourism, of course, this is currently like, I would say most of the students may want to avoid this course because of the pandemic. But the hotel industry in Singapore actually, they are different from how Malaysia works, because you hear a lot of news like Malaysia, right? Some of the hotels closed down because of the pandemic. So it's quite sad lah. But then in Singapore, the government actually provides subsidy for the hotel, and none of the hotel actually closed down. And of course, Singapore also, as seen in this slide, it's a tourism sector. And it's because that we cannot travel at this point of time and the border is not lifted. If let's say the border is lifted, trust me, like most people will want to travel because they are like stuck at home and nowhere to go. It's so boring, right? So once the border is open, I'm sure like most people, they will go out. Yeah. So tourism sector will like, definitely come back. For sports science, I mentioned as well this pathway. So this engineering, we have two specialization, EE as well as mechanical. We do have cybersecurity, which is high demand in Singapore, and also IT computing and also computer science. So this is the pathway. From certificate program, you are able to continue with the Newcastle, Australia or UK Coventry program later on. And the duration is from 16 months to 32 months, depending if you're coming from a different college, you may study a longer duration, but then it's only 32 months instead of 4 years as compared to Malaysia. And then, yeah, we also have, as I mentioned, the cybersecurity, which is high in demand. That's because like this course is considered new, and although it's not very new, like in certain countries, especially very high tech, right? You can actually easily find a job if let's say you are in IT field, because a lot of people are looking for IT professional nowadays. Yeah, trust me. Even in Malaysia, because this is growing, especially now, like even now you are hearing this webinar through Zoom session. So everything has to go online, go digital. So I would say the old ways will not work anymore. That's why IT is so very more important now. Yeah. And one of some of the career opportunities, as you can see, cybersecurity analyst, digital forensic practitioner. So a lot of testing, like for example, if you're using an app, so how does the app work? It's not just that. A lot of things like you see online, like e-payment and all that, it's also under IT. Yeah. And so if you are very good in mathematics, so you might want to consider IT program. And we do have like a networking session. We invite professionals from the industry, and that's where the student get exposure. Like for example, Cisco is the well-known IT company. So we also invite them, invite the students to actually like a field trip to go over. Yeah. Okay, so this is just like talking about mentor-mentee relationship. As Newcastle, as you know, actually Jack Ma, he has also like invested like a foundation in Yun Xiao Newcastle because of Mr. Morley. Yeah, so you can read up on the news lah. This is just talking about like we do have mentor and mentor-mentee kind of buddy system for the students to learn from each other. Yeah. And engineering is recognized by Washington Accord as well as the IET. The students are able to go through the student chapter through IET to actually gain exposure. This will be able to help them. It's like student club and the student council. For IT would be recognized by Singapore Computer Society. Yeah, so we do have postgraduates as well in this different discipline. And most of our postgrad master's program, you are able to complete within a year. Yeah. And just to share with you some of the companies that this is for engineering IT, has gone over to do their either intern or work. Yeah. So this is a piece of news that I just like to share with you. Government has invested over $1 billion over the span of 3 years to beef up Singapore's cybersecurity. And that's because I think this year, somewhere in July, Singtel, Singtel is like DG Maxis, actually got hacked. And that is like a big thing because if, let's say, your personal data is leaked out, then a lot of information are being leaked out. And that actually leads to cyber crime. Yeah, so that's how important it is to actually learn up about cybersecurity. Okay, endorsed by the US. You can see all this. Yeah, so this is the general pathway as mentioned. Certificate will be 3 to 6 months. Diploma, you are able to complete in 9 months. Then degree, the shortest duration would be a top-up degree of 12 months. This is mainly for hospitality and tourism program. Then the rest of the program, apart from engineering, you are able to complete within a 16 months study period. Yeah, and our entry requirement is actually not very difficult. I think most of the students are able to get at least 1 credit in SPM. And the English requirement will be 1119 D7. If let's say you don't get D7, don't have to worry because we do have English placement test for you to take the test. And if you pass 50 over 100, then you can waive off the English requirement. And we do have study grant. The study grant would be SPM level. If you get 3 A's, then you'll get the amount of 2,500 Sing, which is about 7,500 RN. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. And even if you don't, you still get a 500 study grant, Sing dollar. And for students that come from like a diploma level, if let's say you study with Coventry, then you are able to get up to 12,000 RM study grant. Yep. Okay, so we do collaborate with these companies in Singapore. And in case you're curious, right, 80% of our graduates actually get a job in Singapore within 6 months. And this statistic, like 8 in 10, is actually not we say lah. It's actually validated by the relevant body because we cannot simply say we are this good. Yeah, because Singapore, anything they'll sue you. Okay, it's validated. And we do have career fairs every year, but this year we go online. So we prepare students throughout their journey from arrival in Singapore to settling down, orientation and everything. Yeah, so we do prepare the students. And just to share with you some of the awards that we have won in the past. We have won Best Educational Institute Singapore Award last year. And yeah, this is our hostel information. We do have 2 hostels, one in Chinatown, another in Bugis. Of course, if let's say you're looking for your own accommodation, feel free to do so. Yeah, so if you have any questions, I'll take them later. I'll pass the time now to Chi while I share another screen for the quiz. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Katie, for a clear and informative presentation. Right. So I hope all of you able to gain some knowledge about PSB Academy. Yeah. So study in Singapore. So just wait for a moment. If you have any questions, please do type in the Q&A box. So we will answer you later. Okay. Just a moment. Right, any questions? You can just type in. Okay, all right. Yeah. So we're going to start now. Quiz.
Okay, so are you ready for the quiz? So it's simple question, just 10 questions. And if you're able to answer correctly, then we will give you a prize. Please claim from Chi. Yeah.
All right.
So are you ready, guys? If you're ready, then I'll start.
Yeah,
Please.
just try. Yeah. You
Please
can answer
try,
this.
even if you don't know the answer, I'll give you some time and then you can type in the chat box and then Chi will keep track of the points. Yeah, okay? Okay, so question number 1. The Singapore chili crab dish is ranked number 35 in 2011 CNN poll, World's Best 50 Best Food. So which other dish from Singapore made the list? Can you give it a guess? Even if you don't know, maybe you can just try. I think this is pretty easy. Do we have any answers? Okay, I see some answers coming in. Right, so I'll reveal the answer now in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So the answer is actually Hainanese chicken rice. Yeah. So question number 2, are you ready? If you're ready, then I'll move on. Right, so which of these brands, if you're familiar with, did not originate from Singapore? TWG, Crocs, Charles & Keith, Thai Express or Pedro? Only one answer. Give it a guess. If not, then we move to next question. Is that okay? Okay, so the answer is Crocs because Crocs actually originated from the US. Okay, we go on to question number 3. So, where do you think Singapore ranks as most visited city in the world? Is it number 10th, 8th, 3rd or 5th? Give it a guess. This one is pretty easy lah. Okay, if you don't know the answer, I'll reveal to you. It's actually 5th because tourism is a major industry in Singapore and is contributing to 4% of its GDP. Yep. Okay, we move on to question 4. If let's say y'all don't answer the question, right? So I'll give the prize to Chi lah. Okay, next. Question number 4. Singapore's urban planners have been promoting biodiversity, and now all its new developments must have greeneries in line with this vision to become a green city. So which of the following is named Green Lung? Yeah, which one? Okay, I just revealed the answer accidentally.
The answer is out.
So it's Gardens by the Bay. Yep. Question number 5. Okay, this one is very easy. Is Singapore ranked as one of the safest country in the world? Yes or no? Yeah, this one very easy. If you all don't know the answer, then I have to bet. Okay, so the answer is yes, as I mentioned this. Yeah, it's 2nd safest city after Tokyo. Okay, does Singapore have the most multinational companies in Asia? Yes or no? Very easy, right? Yes, actually Singapore beats Hong Kong, yeah, as top Asian location because of its strategic location and also because a lot of talent there. Yeah, especially like Malaysian go over, right? Then become a foreign talent. Okay, so if you have watched this movie, which is one of my favorite as well, Crazy Rich Asians, which are the locations were filmed in the movie? If you remember, yeah, it can be more than one answer. You can type in your answers, just give it a try. think number 3 got lah. The rest, you give it a try. Yeah. She can try also lah.
Right. Oh, okay.
Okay, so we will reveal the answer now. So the answer is 1, 2, 3. If you remember, Chimes Hall is actually the church. Yeah. And then Newton Food Hall, Marina Bay, Punggol is actually residential area. Yeah, so this is not true. Okay, question number 8. You know, like Malaysian, but Singaporeans especially, they love to use acronyms, you know, like short form in their sentences. Yeah, so which of the following is true for MOM? Which one do you think? Mother of Motherland? Man of Ministry? Ministry of Manpower? Ministry of Magic? Which one? Give it a try. Come on. If you can get like eight correct answer, then I'll give you the prize. Okay, so got 2 more. Okay, I'll review the answer now, yeah? Okay, the answer is MO, Ministry of Manpower. Yeah, this is important because like, you know, if you're looking for a job, this is the department that you should look for. It's like Kementerian of what? I don't know what in Malay. Okay, question number 9. So this one is quite easy also. Who was the Prime Minister of Singapore who served from 1959 to 1990? Give it a guess. I give you a clue. Lim Kotong is out. He's Malaysian. He's the Genting founder. Yeah. So I think you got the answer. The answer is Lee Kuan Yew. Yeah. So now the PM is Lee Hsien Loong. Lee Hsien Loong is actually Lee Kuan Yew's son. Okay, final question. Which airlines did not originate from Singapore? Which one? This one very easy, super easy. Now we cannot fly, right? So at least we include some airline questions. Right. So the answer is very, very obvious. Asia. Yeah, this is Malaysian airline. Okay, so we come to an end of the session. I'll stop share now. Maybe Chi, you can just see. Yeah.
Right. So the winner is Nurul Ain. All right.
Oh,
she has
congrats.
the most correct answer.
That's
right.
good.
Congratulations, Nurul. Okay.
Yeah.
So once I get the gift prize from Katie, so I will contact you so that you can come to the office in Penang to collect. Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you some nice gift with the PSB logo. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Katie. Okay. So now I think we can go to the questions Q&A part. Okay. So not many questions here today. All right. So we had just a few. Okay. There's the first question. I would like to check. Can elaborate more about the internship placement? Will PSB arrange for it for the students? So may I know what is the major that you are looking forward to study? You can type in the Q&A session. So meantime, let me check. Okay, life science. Yeah, Katie, is for life science.
Oh, okay. For life science, we actually do not have internship. That's because our duration is actually fast track in 2 years. But we are able to provide with the job portal, and we organize like a career fair for students, of which you are given the opportunity to go for interviews and also apply for a job after your graduation or before your graduation. Yeah, so this platform will actually help you to find a job. And if you're in life sciences, right, especially in Singapore as compared to Malaysia, biotechnology courses, research-based courses, right, Singapore has more opportunities and readily available jobs as compared to Malaysia. That's because they are very concerned and they focus a lot of things, their effort on research and healthcare. Yeah. So in terms of internship, we do not offer for this major, but we are able to help the students in terms of finding the job. Yeah. We are able to provide the assistance. Any more question? Are you taking UEC?
Yeah, are you taking UEC or SPM? Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, feel free to ask if you have any questions because
Any questions?
because we are not live. So don't have to worry.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
actually a second session. Last week we had the first session, which we have more participants. Maybe today
Last week we got more participants. Yeah. Today we have less. Okay, so next question. All right. How are the chances in employment opportunities for international students after graduate? I heard international students challenging to be employed. Okay, how is the opportunity for international students in terms of the employment?
To be honest, right, Singaporeans, they love to hire Malaysians there because Malaysians are very much more hardworking. Yeah. And actually it's not harder. Oh, okay, there's a difference between getting a job after graduation and applying for a job before you even start your college. So a lot of Malaysians, especially if they are in Johor, before this pandemic, a lot of people actually like just cross the bridge and then they find a job, a part-time job or on a work permit would pass. Yeah. So these students are when they want to convert to a student pass, right? I would say that it will become risky for them because there's a tendency for their student pass to be rejected if let's say they have worked before in Singapore. Yeah. So that's why it's different if let's say you are talking about whether it's possible to find a job after your graduation or whether you are finding a job because you want to work there for a short term or on a part-time basis, then it's totally different. Yeah. The career opportunity that I mentioned actually in general, as you know, a lot of Malaysian, especially my own classmate, I'm from CGL, they have actually gone over to Singapore and I don't know about you lah, but then of course in terms of currency wise, it's better pay, one thing, and depends on your professional. If let's say you are a graduate from the major that is in demand, yes, I would say that the chances are higher, but it also depends on that individual, how good they are. Of course, ultimately it's about your exposure, your experience, not just your academics. Yeah, all this will be able to combine the skills that you have and help you to find a job. Even if you are not, let's say you are not IT or design students, right? So if let's say you are studying life science and business, it's good to have certain skills, for example, like you know about how to design website, or you know like how to use Photoshop, you know, these kind of skills, even though it's not directly related, it may help you to present yourself better. Of course, in terms of life sciences, then different skills will apply. This is just an example. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the situation, environment on the work opportunity there. So the next one is, what about in engineering? Is there any internship for students?
Yes, for engineering, I'm able to say we do have internship, 4 months with the Newcastle Uni degree. And that is why the duration is slightly longer as compared to the Coventry UK program. Students are able to go through internship in that case. Yeah.
Okay, next question. So if the students complete the course in Singapore, is there any opportunity for students to continue the degree to the university's campus outside Singapore?
We can actually do internal transfer for students that, let's say, you study Coventry with us, right? Yeah, you're able to do an internal transfer to the overseas actual campus. But then in terms of duration, then it would follow the Australia duration, which is slightly longer. But if, let's say, you complete in PSB Singapore, then normally if you go through our foundation diploma, if life science, it will be 2 years. But if, let's say, you go over, like, say, Australia, then it will be 3 years instead. Yeah, you are able to, just the duration you have to take note lah. It will be slightly longer. Yeah.
So which means after the diploma, the students can go over there or halfway into the degree in Singapore?
After the diploma, students are able to apply overseas as well. I mean, we don't stop students from going
Let's
where
say
they
the
want.
same.
Yeah.
Let's say the same university like Coventry or Newcastle or
Okay.
anything.
For diploma, it would be under PSB Academy. But when it comes to degree, then it would be under the partner university degree. So if, let's say, most of our students, they would normally do a transfer because of the duration that we offer in PSB Singapore, let's say the Australia franchise program that we have. Instead of completing in Australia, like instead of 3 years, you are able to complete here in 16 months to 2 years. So why don't you start with the program here first? And for Coventry as well, we do have this 3 month study abroad in the UK. So you're able to choose that option. In a way, you still get to go to UK. Yeah. But for Australia, we don't have that option. It's only via internal transfer.
Okay. Yeah. So students will get a chance to study at two countries. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even like during your masters, if you complete in a shorter track, we do have students like, if you compare with other institution, the normal duration. So you are able to complete another master's program in another year, and your friend, maybe they are still studying in degree. Yeah, you have already completed master's. So that is the difference.
Okay. So next question, when is the intake for undergraduate? So this is for the life science course just now. Intake for the life science.
Great life science. Our intakes will normally be January, May, and September for life science.
So this is for the certificate level or diploma?
For degree. For degree. Undergrad, right? But if, let's say, you're considering like foundation level, we do offer this in January, April, July intakes. Yeah.
Our foundation would be these 3 months.
Yeah.
So for
normally it will be a trimester, which means we offer 3 intakes in a year. That is why you are able to complete faster as well.
Okay. All right, so just repeat. So for undergraduate life science, it would be January, May, and September. For foundation level, that means after SPM, that would be January, April, and July. Right, that's right. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Let me check. Okay, one more. What about scholarships for undergraduate students? Scholarship?
The undergrad depends. If, let's say, the students are applying for our Coventry program as mentioned, right? We do have 4,000 study grant.
For Coventry will be higher.
Yeah, Coventry, this round we have a higher study grant, which is 4,000 Sing.
The questions? If there's no more questions, then maybe we can call it a day. So if students, you have any further questions, you have any further questions, you can always contact me, can WhatsApp to the number. Okay, okay, just a minute, I got a message. Just a minute. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. I think I'm not so sure what is that. Okay. Yeah. All right. It's okay. Okay. So, so if you have further questions, you can just contact here. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Just a minute. Check on this one.
Yeah, you can share the study grant flyer and the brochures with the student. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there's a student. So later I will just WhatsApp to you further about this. Okay. All right. So any other questions, we can always use the WhatsApp. Okay. All right. So until here, okay. So I'd like to thank our speaker, Kathy, for today's detailed presentation. All right, and we look forward for your participation in the future event, right? Yeah, so just stay connected with us at Yes Education, and then for Singapore, study in Singapore, so you can always contact us for PSB Academy. Yeah, okay, all right. So take care and stay safe.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.